Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to give you a tour of downtown Kingston. Now downtown is one of the busiest places in the city of Kingston. We are on Ocean Boulevard and you see all the modern buildings. Now one of the comments we always get is people always say they must preserve the Georgian style of downtown Kingston. But this is Ocean Boulevard, prime real estate. That is the UDC building, and behind it is the Digicel head office. A lot of new buildings have gone up down here. So the question is, what did they do with these old buildings? Now we're going to go on to Harbour Street, where you have some new buildings, but you also have some old buildings that don't have any roof, don't have any windows. And with all the progress that's going on in Jamaica, you have to ask, what to do with these buildings? This is Port Royal Street straight ahead. Now look at the building on the right. It doesn't even have on a roof. It's shuttered up. It's one of those buildings that if it can be restored, I would say restore, but these buildings can't be restored. They were built in a time, so you can see right through to the sky. They were built in a time when these buildings were not built with steel. So, and I'm not sure how they would ever preserve a building like that. Bring it back, it would cost too much money. So a lot of these buildings have to be demolished and new structures put up. Now, if possible, you can keep buildings for historic value, but not every building in downtown Kingston is going to have historic value, and not every building in downtown Kingston can be saved. Now in Lucy, the Prime Minister wants to build a museum, and the government is moving towards history as a tourist attraction, like historic buildings. So they're trying to they're building a new town in Lucy, and they're trying to preserve some of the old structures for historic value. There was another place they were speaking about it. In Bull Bay, they were speaking about it as well. And in downtown Kingston, they are trying to preserve some of these historic buildings. Now to the right, that building with the black glass, that's the Scotia Centre. That's the third tallest building in Jamaica. Straight ahead, that's the Air Jamaica building. These are modern buildings. Now look to the immediate right. These are old buildings that are basically an eyesore. Some of them are not even safe, because as we said, they weren't built with steel. They were built, remember, Kingston existed from the 1600s. So downtown Kingston has basically a clash between modern buildings and these old buildings. Now that blue building on the right, so it's good to have historic buildings, but you can't let these historic buildings slow down the expansion of the city. You can't let them stop progress. I know a lot of people are for historic buildings, but downtown Kingston probably has 200 old buildings. I can't imagine you'd want to keep 200 old buildings and have nowhere to build new buildings. That blue building is the first Grace Kennedy head office. On the left is the second one, and on the straight ahead, that's the new one. So you see the transformation of downtown Kingston. The blue one was the first one built 100 years ago. And you see, they have transformed into this massive high-rise building now because the company has grown. Now they're not tearing down the blue building, they're going to turn it into a museum. Now on the left, another locked up building. Now down here you have the ice factory, prime oceanfront real estate. That's the Jamaica Stock Exchange right there, very modern building. Now this is a massive building, it's the old ice factory. Oh sorry, no, we haven't reached here yet. It's at the end of the road. Now Grace Kennedy recently bought these buildings, and they're not going to demolish them, they're just going to operate them. Over on the right is a park. I mean, it's good to have a park, yes, but not when it overlooks the harbor. That's prime real estate. These are the buildings that Grace Kennedy recently bought. As I said, they're not demolishing them, they are going to keep them and operate them. But at the end of the road is the old ice factory. The building has no roof, it's not being used. Prime real estate. Tear down the ice factory, it has no historic value, and put up high-rise buildings. This park over here on the right, you can build a park somewhere else. It should be used to build a high-rise building, because that's what Jamaica needs now. Remember, you know, we're not against parks. Please, don't get me wrong, because we did a video on the Sir William Grant Park, but progress. Jamaica needs to move forward. Now, Bull Bay is being transformed into a new city. It's a town now, but it's going to grow. It's growing. We need to be able to get people from Kingston to Bull Bay. It's like a 10-minute drive, but we're going to need bus parks in Kingston to go to Bull Bay. We're going to need a proper bus park in Bull Bay so people can move around. So when you have an old park like this, or the Sir William Grant Park, can be relocated to another location. But I don't see. Now, on Ocean Boulevard, they have a lot of parks by the ocean front. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think. There's actually a park across the road here too. Let us know what you think about it. This is prime real estate. And it's not a park where you would think of like in America where you have grass and trees. But Grace Kennedy now owns it. We're not sure what they're going to do with it. But Downtown Kingston is going through a transformation from the old historic buildings to a modern metropolis. And as I said, if the building has historic value, true historic value, keep it, restore it, because tourism is becoming, historical tourism, when people to go and want to see these old buildings, but you have to restore them. It makes no sense somebody goes and the building has no roof. You can't even go inside it. So where you can restore them, restore them. Where you can't, demolish them and build something new. That's the ice factory I was talking about straight ahead on the right now. Massive building. You could probably build 3 20-story buildings over there. Alright guys, leave your comments in the section below. Have a good day.